Good evening. We wanted to make a video and talk a little bit about our last video. We got some kind of negative feedback about that. I think that video made some people mad, so very briefly we will kind of clear that up or talk about it, because the main point of this video is to share kind of new resources and new information about helping the victims of Hurricane Helene. So in our last video, we kind of shared some resources and shared our concern that the government really wasn't doing much, and it was mostly just people helping people. The main message for us is just we've done our research. We're in touch with people who are on the ground. We have family who live there. Like we said, this is in our backyard. This is a couple counties over. So we've done our research, and we feel like we know what we believe, and we feel led to make this video as a resource, to share resources that other people that we know are making. And we got so many comments on that last video about people saying, yeah, I've donated, and yeah, I'm praying. Praise the Lord. That's the whole point. That's the sole point of this. But for the pushback of, you know,
misinformation,
for the misinformation, for people saying we were spreading misinformation, or people wanting to know what we're doing, I kind of like what Wayne from Deep River Farm said about that. If it bothers you, if this is not what you want, if it's not what you like, you can always unsubscribe. So I just wanted to mention that, and as well, again, the people who are wondering what we're doing to help, it's kind of one of those things where we're kind of do your alms in secret. That's what the Bible says. So I don't feel like we need to get on here and tell you what we're doing. I don't really feel like that's right, but you can rest assured that we're definitely helping. So there was two channels that I found, Freedom Tour and Real Estate Mindset. Two videos, specific videos that I watched, and it just gives you more of an idea of what's actually happening, what's actually going on. I'm sure that you've seen some of the damage, and it's just unimaginable. It's people helping people. It's church organizations. It's people on the ground. It's all of these things going on that's helping, and so they need your help. They need our help, and so that's why we feel led to make this video and to continuously keep it in people's mind to just pray. So, you know, some people said, oh, I can't give you your prayers. Yes, you can, because your prayers are everything.
They're worth more than money.
They're worth more than money. So that was kind of my spiel about it, and now Katie's going to kind of briefly tell us. She's been in touch with Wayne from Deep River Farm, and she's going to kind of tell us some more things, and then all the links will be in the description. Go ahead.
Yes. To echo what Corey said, and to dispel any concern or worry about misinformation, this is all coming from someone who has been in and around these areas. This is direct, what would you say, directly from the mouth of videos that I've personally watched, individuals who are living in these areas. So this is all firsthand information, and it is accurate and correct. And I'm going to tell you, so
exactly, and we're just trying to reach out and spread that to our audience as well, and then any new stuff that we learn, we just
right. So I'm going to tell you about Wayne, but I do want to, again, this is the whole entire point of these videos. This is not out there. You're not going to find this information. Now, you can dig, and you can dig, and you can dig, and you are going to find some interviews and some things on YouTube, and that's great. That is there. But you're not going to find this on major news networks, on bigger media channels. This is just not being covered, period. And if that offends you, well, it's just what's happening. It's the truth. And so I feel bad about that, and I feel like this is something I want to do to bring light to the extreme suffrage that these people are going through, and a way for you to help. And if you that I'm talking to on the other side of the screen, if you're you're an individual, you're one of the ones that said, hey, I want to help, what can I do? This is for you. I'm going to give you some new information that you can do something with. And if you're on the other side of the screen and you don't like this, then it's really easy. You just have a mouse and you click off. So
one more thing, just real quick before you get into that, we've discovered that it's so important to stay updated, because the needs are always changing. Because praise the Lord, there's so many people sending things from different places, and then they kind of get that need fulfilled, and then they're kind of on to the next. So that's one thing that we've learned, is you really have to try to stay in touch with the people who are like the church organization that we're in touch with. You really kind of have to stay in touch, so that way when one need kind of at least gets fulfilled for the moment, and they're kind of switching gears, you can switch gears. Right. So go ahead.
So right on that vein, Wayne is an individual who has just stepped up to fill these massively big shoes and is doing this wonderful work. So Wayne, it was his church, the Wesleyan church in Randleman, that started in the very beginning of in the very beginning days after the hurricane, they started delivering food and water to those in need who were literally going to perish and die without it. And then after some of those needs were met, they started delivering clothes, and then it kind of just quickly evolved from September till now into something called Operation Mountain Relief. So now there are actually 21 churches that are involved in this operation, and they're doing some really wonderful things for these people. So we have mentioned some of that. What we mentioned in our last video were physical needs. So it seems, and I know, Wayne, you're going to watch this video, so if I make any mistakes here, comment and correct me, or anybody else a part of this organization, Operation Mountain Relief. It is my understanding that the Wesleyan church in Randleman and the one in Flat Rock are covering some of the physical needs. So those items we were talking about, heaters and clothing and all of those things on that Amazon wish list that you were seeing. It is my understanding that they were covering some of that, and that the storage for those items are at those physical church locations. Wayne made a video about it, and he also, because he put one out today, an update, and he also I talked to him on the phone today for a little while, and he said that they have so much stuff now that they've got a storage container out back behind the church to store stuff. So they're very thankful. They have like over 1,000 heaters that they received, and that's just been recently. So they're very thankful about that. They're able to take those heaters and take them down into places where they hear that there's a need. I know some of them went to, if you watch Patera, in her channel, Appalachian Homestead, I think that's her channel. She had a cousin, I think, that had a clinic that needed some of those heaters. So Operation Mountain Relief, they're very good at staying on the cusp of things and understanding who needs what in a very current and live time. So we mentioned that. We had the link to that Amazon wish list for those physical needs, those physical items, and that is going to continue, of course, as time goes on. And Pastor Tim, of course, is also probably doing some other stuff too. I'm sure some of these churches are also kind of, what would you say, they all kind of have their designated thing, but they're probably kind of working in between. So if you have questions for Pastor Tim, hey, is there other physical items that you need? Or for Wayne, we're going to put their emails.
All that information is going to be in the description.
Right, in the description below. Okay, so another project that one of the 21 churches is currently doing, one of the churches in Denton, North Carolina, is what's called Project Santa, and it is what it sounds like. They are going to sponsor children, families for Christmas that would otherwise not have a Christmas for their children because of the damage sustained to their property and homes. I think Wayne said right now they've got up to 100 kids that they've collected, kind of the names of those kids, and they understand that those are kids that need Christmas done for them, because it's been very difficult on the adults. It's been very difficult for everybody involved in this, but I know it's been particularly taxing for the children, so they want to do something nice for them. That address, the physical address for that donation opportunity, if you will be in the description below for Project Santa, done by the church in Denton. Another project that's being done is called Helping Hands for Family. That is being done by the Central Global Methodist Church in Asheboro. And when I say being done by them, what I mean is they're taking the lead on this.
They're in charge.
But all of these 21 churches and all of the people involved in Operation Mountain Relief, they're all making this effort possible. But Central Global Methodist Church is kind of the leader. They're going to say, hey, I'm responsible for this project. So what they're going to do with that is, starting December 4th, they're going to be giving money to vetted families who need to rebuild, who need funds for, hey, my house is still standing, but it sustained this sort of damage. This is my need to fix that. And they're taking monetary donations. Of course, even after the 4th, they're going to continue to try to support monetarily these families. So they have an online portal where you can donate money to that. They also have a physical address if you want to send a check. If you're old-fashioned, you have a checkbook, you want to send something in the mail. Now, what's very important about that is, I can also put a little piece of information about this in the description, is when you click on the portal, there's going to be a place, I've looked, that says donation. You're going to click other, and there's going to be a place where you can specify this is for hurricane relief. And you're going to do the same thing on your check. You're going to write a note, hurricane relief. That's going to designate that this is going to the Helping Hands Project, because if you don't, otherwise it will be taken into the General Assembly of Donation for the church, and you won't designate that your donation is for the hurricane, of course, because that's That's what your intention is when you send it. So that's several projects that we have going on. Project Santa, the one I just mentioned. Of course, the continued need for Operation Mountain Relief of the physical items on that Amazon wish list. Now, something interesting about Amazon, by the time this video comes out here tonight, some of you may have heard this, you may not have, about an Amazon strike. They are on strike, and I don't know, of course I don't know how that is going to affect this wish list, these items that these people need, and they need it in a timely manner, a quick turnaround. So, I still believe, this is me saying this, I still believe it's okay that you buy stuff off of these wish lists that you're going to see in the description. And Wayne did say something that they really need is bedding. He was talking about like sheets, and I'm thinking that it's probably, obviously when you have a hurricane, you lose everything you've got. But also for campers and tents, places that they are still allowed to have these things. That's something we're going to mention here real quickly in a minute. And as things change, of course, we can make more updates, or we can update the description in this video, because it just feels like as I'm saying this, there could be new information. But as of when I talked to him this morning, it was bedding and then propane tanks, so that they're able to exchange tanks as they run out. So they need extra tanks to work with. Wayne also informed me this morning that they have a place, a gas company, that they are able to just go into and exchange the tanks free of charge, because there is a gentleman, I believe in South Carolina, a nameless gentleman who is just out of the goodness of his heart funding this on his, what would you say, unending tab, right, his open tab. Account. So thank you to that man who's funding the gas for the heaters for these people. So Wayne also mentioned in his video another man named Bud. Bud he's a member at the Pastor Tim's church, at the Wesleyan church in Flat Rock. He has a YouTube channel, Appalachian Navy. He's interviewing individuals in the affected area of the storm, talking to them. It's another great channel to kind of get your eyes on the ground, what's going on here. He interviews a woman named Alyssa. Alyssa has a great project, and I know this is breadcrumbs and rabbit trails, but that's how this whole entire thing is happening, because of the lack of help from the government, local and state. So this is how it's happening. These are breadcrumb trails of individuals, and this is how I'm finding this information. I'm just digging for it. So Bud, that goes to Pastor Tim's church, he has the YouTube channel. He interviews this woman named Alyssa, who lives in Bakersville, North Carolina. When the hurricane came, they evacuated their home. Their property suffered minor damage, but when they had to evacuate, it took them 8 tries to find a road that was passable to leave the area to safety. And they saw a lot of really disturbing, really upsetting, very just what she calls just traumatic things. So she felt led, out of what she saw and what she experienced in her community, to do something about it. And that is where Rising Light Relief was born. That's a small, well, it's not so small now, it's getting pretty big, but it started as a small kind of just one person organization, and then she started adding people on to help her. And what they're doing is, in these affected areas around Bakersville, they are donating what they can as far as physical items when they find out these people have a need, but they are providing hot meals for people who are elderly. They cannot get out, people who cannot get out because they are trapped by their roads being washed out. I saw a story where she talked about a man who he had a shop, and he had motorcycles. They were Harley Davidsons, but he had motorcycles. That was his thing. He lost his home and his shop, and he's just kind of living in the middle of this rubble pile. And they came by his house and they said, "Hey, would you like a hot meal?" And he was like, "Yeah, I would like a hot meal." And the only bowl that he had to have that hot meal in was a dog food bowl. And I don't even know if he had his dog, if his dog was dead, if his dog was gone. But the only thing they had chicken soup, like a pot of chicken stuff. And the only thing he had to receive that meal in was a dirty dog food bowl. So and this is coming out of the lips of Alyssa herself. So they go in, they get the dog food bowl, they clean it up, and they serve him this soup, and that hot meal just meant the world to him. This man's hungry. He's not got anything to eat. And so I know I feel like I'm talking really quickly, and I'm going through this information rapid fire, but I want to get it all out there. So that is Alyssa with Rising Light Relief. She has a Facebook page, and again, all of that will be in the description. And I would have known about none of this had it not been for Wayne. This is all channeling and funneling through Wayne with Deep River Farm. Another opportunity to help, of course, would be Fund Alyssa. And there's going to be more information about that on her Facebook. They have an Amazon wish list for items that they are taking to these individuals along with the hot meals in need in Bakersville. It is churches that are organizing these efforts. Right. Of course, we've mentioned that. It's individuals. That is why I feel so connected and so willing to trust these people and this information. That is why I do not call this misinformation. Now, one other thing we need to talk about, I need to make sure I'm done. I actually have one more thing to say as far as outreach and specific opportunities to help. Wayne is going to be, for the next several days, making videos talking about specific families in need. So there's families that are receiving and were receiving other types of government assistance, federal assistance, things like that before this storm happened. There's people, of course, who have monetary resources to be able to rebuild and have what they need. And then there's the people in the middle who don't really have the monetary resources to rebuild. They also don't qualify for some of this other help. And that's kind of some of the people they're trying to target. So he's going to be sharing about one family. I think there's 6 families right now, so that'll be 6 days worth of videos. He said there might possibly be one other family. And these are people, we're not going to name them. He's not going to name them, anything like that. We want to protect that information because we understand that it's a hard thing to ask for help. So that's going to be something, I'm going to put a link to his channel. Of course, watch out for those videos. If you watch those videos and you go look at the description on those, he's going to give you more ways to help if you so wish to target a specific family in need. Okay, I just hope I've covered everything. This is a lot of information.
But it's all going to be in the description,
yep.
So don't feel like you have to memorize it.
And we'll have it all typed out very nicely there. One other thing I wanted to mention, two other things is again, we talked about John Ward in our last video, another individual who is interviewing different people. Even talked with a commissioner about some of these regulations. That's the last thing we're going to mention here. But he does have that GoFundMe for a specific family in need as well. So if you check out his channel, I think is it just Appalachian channel? The Appalachian channel. He also has plenty of opportunities. So anytime you go to these YouTube channels, the best thing you can do is go to the description of their video, and they're going to list some information, addresses, and links for you to look at. And that kind of helps you understand and put some of this together, because a lot of these people know each other and they're kind of working in tandem, if you will, across towns and counties. Lastly, I wanted to touch on the regulations, because we had a lot of kickback about that. You know, that's not happening. That's not a thing about counties refusing to let people bring campers and any other type of temporary structure, tiny home, whatever, onto their property. It is happening. It's happening in Haywood and Buncombe County for sure, that I know of. There's rumors that it's happening in other counties. I don't physically live in those counties, but I've got some information coming from a woman, and I believe that she's right, that it's happening in other places too. So we're going to share the information of these county officials at the code office, commissioners,
get in touch with them,
etc. Yep. So we've shared some of that before in a community post, I know, but we have a little bit more information to share. So you can contact these people and urge them to change their mind. Urge them, if this information is coming from higher up the chain, as I imagine it is coming up from higher up the chain from the state level. Please urge them to discontinue such a ignorant and careless rule during a time of great need and desperation. So, I think that probably covers everything.
So, while you were talking, there's I'll be super brief. Just a few things I wanted to say. I've been trying to do our emails as quick as I can. I'm slow these days. And got an email from a young man who is sending sleeping bags, and we appreciate that so much. And I put this individual in contact with Pastor Tim, so I'm so appreciative of that. And then also got an email from a wonderful lady who said she was willing to house people at her home, which is just amazing. And again, put her in touch with Pastor Tim, and so if you have specific things like that, we're going to leave his, this is for the Wesleyan church that we're talking about, we're going to leave that info in the description, but you can always feel free to email us. And what you were mentioning about the rabbit trails, I mean, isn't that just how God works? He just does that and weaves stuff, and you know, it's like his tapestry. I mean, even in this like terrible time of trauma for people, and you know, this is people's home. They don't want to leave. If you watch the video from Real Estate Mindset, I think it was them. This was in Tennessee, but this lady's saying, you know, no, I'm not leaving. This is my home. I was born and raised here. And it's not as simple as, well, they can just go somewhere else. I mean, they don't have the resources to, but they don't want to, because, I mean, no one wants to have to leave their home.
Why would anybody? Yeah.
Let's see, it seemed like there was one other thing I was gonna...
While you're thinking of that, I was looking back in my text with Wayne here, and when we were talking about bedding, he said full and queen size sheets, pillows, and pillowcases for those who are in temporary housing. So I just wanted to make a designation. Some of that may be on the Amazon wish list, and it probably is.
Yeah. But we wanted to just make this video sort of clear some things up, but mostly just share just resources, because it's just heartbreaking. And again, you know, it's heartbreaking all over the world. It's not, this feels very, I mean, it's in our backyard, but also there's just heartbreaking things that go on all over the place. And any way we can help, with prayers, with money, with just anything that we can do to help out our brothers and sisters in Christ is so important. And then, just like I said, just the, you know, just the gratitude for, I mean, what we have, and I do feel like that's a way to honor those people, as well as just being so grateful for what you have, because there's so many people who are in such worse off conditions. So we're going to get off here. Everything is going to be in the description below. We do appreciate you watching. Anything else?
If you have any questions,
yeah, email us.
Because sometimes comments get lost.
Yeah, that's the thing, is we get so many comments that sometimes we can't get to them all. But our email's in the description as well, so you can always email us.
And, you know, we may continue, I'm sure, well, I know we will, in
Just
some
as
form or fashion.
Right, as we get information.
Continue to share, right?
Even if it's just some community post, or if we save it for a big video like this, or...
You're right about things change by the minute, and it's a wonderful thing that they do, because that means needs are being filled. As they receive enough of one item, then they're on to the next thing, and that's all made possible because of you, because of someone who goes onto the Amazon wish list and says, I think I'm going to buy a buddy heater, I think I'm going to buy clothing, or whatever items it is that they need.
It's people helping people, and you know, that's such a blessing, and that's such a blessing to just see God's hand working in that. I mean, it's such a blessing for us to just even be able to, you know, use this channel to, I mean, be of any support to that. That's so humbling and such a blessing to be able to do. I'm so thankful for that.
And it doesn't matter about, in closing, doesn't matter about your politics. It doesn't matter about how you feel about it. What I'm interested in is helping somebody, because I would want somebody to do the same for me. If I was in their shoes, I'd want somebody to bring me a hot meal. If all I had was a dog food bowl to put it in, I'd want somebody to put some clothes on my back, to put some clothes on my kid's back, to put some shoes on my baby's feet. I'd want all of that.
And that's all that, that's all that matters, is just trying to get straight, get lined up with these organizations, and just get straight to the people, and just do whatever it takes to help these people. That's all that matters.
That's it. So keep an eye out for maybe more information on this as we get it. Definitely Wayne is kind of more on the front of things, so you can keep his channel, Deep River Farm, kind of saved in your favorites, and just keep referring back to it. And
absolutely remember these people in your prayers, especially as it's turning cold.
That's right. And God bless you, and God keep you.
We'll see you on the next one.
We will.